Hey, what is up, guys? It is... No. Fuck! God damn it, I don't know what to say.
What is up? It's your boy. What is up, guys? This is the first ever The Quest podcast coming at you from your boys, Aiden and...
Colin!
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking a lot about what you guys are going to be seeing at this weekend's E3 2016. I'm pretty excited for it, Colin. What about you?
I can say myself that I'm a huge fan of E3. A lot. I mean, it's a big time of the year for everyone who enjoys games from console to PC. So that's I don't know. It's like
Colin's most excited for the Xbox announcements and all the Xbox exclusives, and mainly the Microsoft press conference as a whole. Mainly the Xbox One stuff.
Yep. I can't wait for Xbox 1.5 to launch, dude. It's too much. It's overwhelming. So some things you might see today. Some speculation on E3 and possible insider news that might come out of E3. Some things that have been confirmed to be shown.
Half-Life 3.
Yes, probably not Half-Life 3, but leaks and other news, news articles, controversy. What are some of the best ways of experiencing E3 as a whole? Like, most people, of course, would watch it on Twitch. Maybe some might watch it on YouTube Red. But
we'll say Twitch. We'll just
We'll just say Twitch.
Just watch it on Twitch, guys.
Yeah, just watch it on Twitch. Thoughts on the convention, how it's conducted? Because I know for a fact that it's a lot like a convention, but a lot of people also just kind of experience it for the conferences at the very beginning. So that's one thing. And then we will talk about the PC conference, which is something that not many people talk about because all the big conferences are like EA, PlayStation, and Xbox, and the ones that have already made their trademark. So
yeah, the little guys need a voice too.
Yeah. So Aiden,
PC's little.
What have you been doing on your channel or YouTube lately?
Well, on the YouTube, we've been uploading daily vlogs, and everything has been really good. We've been doing daily content, Let's Plays every single day. Not kidding, that's the dream. But no. So I've had a lot going on, a lot going on in my life currently. So the Twitch channel has been more pushed to the side. Still trying to stream as much as possible, but definitely not as much as I should be. But slowly getting into it as summer arises here in the East Coast.
Yes, me and Aiden both recently graduated from high school, which is a big accomplishment. I got a lot more money than he did, but hey, we all
because it's
we won't talk about that.
The physical things that matter to Colin, guys.
Maybe, but who's counting? But yeah,
apparently.
So me personally, I've just been doing a lot of back-end stuff, getting that channel intro ready.
Yeah, he's been working on an intro for my Twitch channel.
Working on the general stuff for this podcast, because this is the first episode, so we'll see how this goes.
This is the pilot.
Yeah, this is the pilot, just like 30 other episodes on Aiden's channel. So, yeah, let's just jump right in. So, what would we expect to see at E3?
Well, Colin, I expect to see Half-Life 3. It's been how many years now? 6, 7?
Too long.
Yep, too long. I'm probably really wrong on those years, but yeah. But yeah, it's been too long. I feel that people have waited long enough. It's not like Valve is running out of money and can't afford to make a Half-Life 3, cough, 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 CSGO World Tournaments, and Dota, and making literally money out of their ass, and Steam just flourishing as the #1 PC platformer for video games. So I personally believe that it's either they're making the best possible game that they can make, or, yeah.
So what do you expect to, besides Half-Life 3, what do you expect to say come out of either of the conferences? So we'll start with Xbox. What do you expect to come from the Xbox conference?
What I personally expect, being typically an Xbox One player myself, is more news on the upcoming Halo Wars 2. I'm a big RTS fan, so I hope to see a lot more of that. What else? The new Mass Effect Andromeda. I hope they show gameplay footage of that. Or not even just gameplay footage, just talk more about it and what we can expect about it, more than we already know. Maybe some more news on the new Gears of War 4. Maybe drop a Halo 6 teaser trailer, possibly. I mean, I know that's a little bit ways out, so I don't know if necessarily we'll see that. Crackdown 3, a game that's been rumored for a while, that Xbox One exclusive. Scalebound, Recore. All games that we saw at last year's E3 that I hope they haven't talked about in a year since the last E3, but I hope they give us more about in detail this year and maybe drop a release date on these games. So, I mean, that's what stands out for me on Xbox. Yeah. Anything, that I'm missing, Colin?
I know for a fact that they're probably going to be announcing a, Xbox One Slim, or some kind of slimmed down version, based on some leaks on Twitter. They are definitely probably going to be saying something about their new upcoming Xbox 1.5 or Xbox, like, I don't know what they're going to call it. It's kind of pathetic that they can't come up with a reasonable console name chain from like Xbox 360.
The same can be said from for PS4 though.
Yeah, yes, clearly. Because if they want to go with like PlayStation Neo or anything like that, then it's kind of it's just the PS4 with upgraded hardware. It's nothing special.
Yeah, that's another thing that I personally think it's like we just dropped all these monies on these consoles, not even like a year or two ago, and now they already want us to buy new ones. I mean, I feel like the gap between the 360 and the 360 Slim was much larger than what we're seeing here. But
I definitely think we will probably see some either VR stuff from Xbox or some
their HoloLens.
Or HoloLens. Yep, they launched a recent ad for HoloLens. I don't think it was publicly too mainstream, but the ad kind of showed a woman wearing a newly designed HoloLens, something different from what they've previously shown, and it looked very futuristic. And one misconception that I think a lot of people get with the HoloLens is that it's not technically VR. VR is putting on an HTC Vive and being a completely different reality. HoloLens is more of a...
It's more of a hands-on feel.
Yes, it's more of change the world that you're currently in, rather than jumping into a completely new world. Sorry, go.
That's what I personally feel makes that particularly stand out above all these VR headsets that we're seeing. The Oculus, the Vive, there's another one.
Yeah, the other HTC one for your phone.
Oh, yep. That one. And I just feel like, yeah, the Vive has the controllers, which makes it stand away from the Oculus, which personally used the Vive at PAX East 2016 and loved it. It worked really well. The gameplay flowed very well. Just everything about it went extremely smooth, and I would definitely recommend it. But the thing that I feel that Xbox One is doing, which we saw them do with the Kinect, is take what everyone else is doing and take that a step further. Like, I'm not trying to favoritism on Xbox or anything, but you look at what they did with the Kinect. I'm not gonna lie, Kinect really wasn't all that big of a deal. But I remember when it was first coming out, it was like, whoa, I can do what people are doing on the Wii without a remote. It's, they took that and made it a step further. Whereas you had the Wii with their remotes, then you had the PS4 with their
remotes. That let's not even talk about that. That was just a sad moment in Sony's time.
Exactly. And I just hope that we don't see another thing like that from PlayStation. I'd hope that make the same mistake they did with the PlayStation Move and try and copy their competitors so much to the point where their own product really doesn't meet the standards that their competitors do. I really hope they go in the same direction with the Vive in the sense that there's controllers involved and stuff like that. And because personally, I was completely against the controllers right away when I heard of the Vive. But after using them and using that and the Oculus, controllers definitely make the experience much more hands-on and give for much more. It's a much more immersed feeling in the Vive universe, and I just think that's what makes it such a big deal. I don't know, Colin, how do you feel about it?
Right. See, I'm a little bit different. I think the HoloLens might be a little bit lackluster at first when people start to get accustomed with it, because with the launch of VR first before the HoloLens, I think a lot of people are going to be in the tune of, okay, well, why would I choose this over a VR headset that I can go anywhere else, when in this I can just, play 3D Minecraft on my desk table, or put a Skype up on the wall or something like that. And that might sway people from just getting a VR headset versus a HoloLens. And another big factor is the price point. VR, going into VR, if you do not have a good enough PC, plus the headset, or any other accessories that you might need, that is a big chunk of money. Probably a little bit more than your first car that you paid for. I know for the HTC Vive, $1,800 is like the average for one of their bundles, which is pretty insane. And that's for like a really beastly computer. But I feel like Xbox could pull off the whole, well, maybe we don't need a computer necessarily thing. Maybe they can kind of put screens up over, because that's what the whole Glass is. And they've been doing that kind of with Google Glass right now. They put a little cube in your eye and you can see things as if it was a computer screen. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we really haven't seen much from the HoloLens, but I'm definitely interested in what they have to say. Now, the Xbox conference will be June 12th, I believe, at 9:30 a.m. PST or 12:30 p.m. EST. All those times will be in the description of the video in case you guys want to refer back.
And if you guys also want to see the commercial that we were talking about earlier with the HoloLens, we'll also throw that in the description as well.
Alright, so let's move on to PlayStation. Their conference is at 6 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. EST, and I also believe they are June 12th as well. I could be wrong, I can check on that. But, so, Aiden, I know you're not that big of a PlayStation fan, but what are some things that you might expect from what you've heard to come out of
Last of Us 2. No, you don't even need to be a PlayStation gamer to know that everyone's been dying for Last of Us 2. I've personally seen gameplay of the game and would love to see them further the story.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know of PlayStation is going to be doing probably going to be doing a lot of VR, because they're launching their new headset pretty soon, I think, or it's in the works.
Yeah, I think it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be launching in the fall.
That I'm not sure of, but we're definitely going to hear something at the conference about it, because if they don't, well, it's kind of stupid on their part. Because if you're competing,
more branding on that.
If you're competing with a big company like Microsoft, then you need to get something out there, especially with the HTC Vive.
Yeah, the Vive is definitely taking everyone by storm.
Right.
Yeah, so the Xbox and PlayStation, and yeah, so the Xbox, the Microsoft, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo press conferences will all actually scratch that. Nintendo's on the 14th, Sony, Ubisoft, and Xbox are all on the 13th. Xbox being at 9:30 a.m., Ubisoft being at 1 p.m., and Sony being at 6 p.m. And EA Bethesda will be on the 12th. So we'll have all that in the description, guys. So, you know, if that was a little bit hard to understand,
right,
it'll be in the description. So don't even worry about it.
So, yeah. Again, with PlayStation, probably, I'd say...
Definitely see some Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if it'll be at their conference or not, but we might see something on No Man's Sky, hopefully.
Oh,
I mean, although... Oh god, here we go. No Man's Sky. That big, like... I don't know how to explain it. That big, either... great game or that polished turd that everyone's just really hoping for.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy No Man's Sky here, and we're gonna force this shit down your throat.
True.
We're making launch commercials for 24/7, but wait, there's more. We're pushing the release date back. Alright, we'll see you next year.
Yep. We will definitely... Now, would you expect Destiny
2. That's gonna
Destiny
be.
2, would that be something that PlayStation might go with, or would that be kind of more on?
They've already confirmed it. Bungie has already definitely confirmed a Destiny 2, but they've already also announced another expansion that will be coming out. So we're not going to be seeing Destiny 2 at all. They're not even. I don't think, because they're going to be putting all their focus towards the new expansion, which they will be announcing at the PlayStation press conference, due to Bungie's deal with Sony. Another game, like I said, I'm not the biggest PlayStation gamer, but alright, there it is, The Last Guardian.
Oh yeah, Last Guardian.
Which is a big one for a lot of you.
There. Yeah, that game has a history, kind of like Final Fantasy does. Except it'll be a little bit smaller, but fan base. I remember when they showed a trailer for that, it was one of the most hyped PlayStation trailers that they showed, and it's pretty insane how much hype is behind that game, although you don't hear about it that much from a lot of people. And I find that the publicity, although there might not be enough publicity for it right now, when fans hear more about it, it's gonna get some big hype, some giant hype.
Yeah, it'll definitely be one of those games that, despite not being branded all over Six Flags like Call of Duty at some point, will definitely be one that a lot of 70 users will be picking up, and I'm sure the game's gonna be amazing.
Right. All right, so now this is something that Aiden really might not know about as much, but the PlayStation conference, the PC conference.
Colin doesn't know his own words.
Get those mixed up a little bit. So I'm more of a PC player than Aiden is. He's more of the console side of things.
You're right. I've only been playing World of Warcraft since I was 6 years old.
Yes.
I've never touched a PC in my life, kids.
He's touched a PC in his life, but in general, he doesn't play a lot of games on the PC. He's played WoW on the PC. which is it's still a really good game. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more of the techie nerd of the two of us for PC. So guaranteed right off the bat we're going to be seeing something from Nvidia in their new 1080, 1070 graphics cards, of course. Some of the highest power in their line right now. But what some people might not know about is AMD recently launched a notice about their upcoming VR-ready card that is going to really make VR cheap. Most VR-ready cards are at $300, $400 each, and that's just not acceptable right now for a lot of consumers. So unless you're a really big PC enthusiast, I don't think you're going to want to drop $1,200, $1,300 on a computer to put in your living room and just kind of have that sit there. So AMD, the card I believe is going to be around $200. They haven't released too many specs outside of saying that it's going to be VR ready, and that the card is, I believe the card is running games around at 1080p, probably around at least 60 frames medium on most games. So seems pretty good, pretty cheap. The new frame rate per dollar kind of thing seems pretty cool. Might be the new lower end graphics card that people just jump for because price over performance is a huge factor. Is there anything that you might be expecting at the PC conference? Just throwing out there, and I know you really don't keep the touch as much on the PC stuff, but
I mean, now when you say PC conference, is it only specs or?
It is not only specs, but it is games that can come out for the PC and launch, anything like that.
And I believe that Warcraft is going to have an extra.
Warcraft 3, do you mean? Warcraft.
No, I mean Warcraft like the movie and World of Warcraft, the game, and
Gotcha.
just Blizzard will be forcing everything down the PC consumer throat.
Right.
Especially, like we've seen just recently this past weekend, the new badge advertisement technique that they partnered up with Twitch to do, which I personally found extremely unique. How you could do /horde/alliance chat and get your badge till June 10th. Get on that, boys. But yeah, other than that, I mean, besides, I don't know personally, like what gets slumped in with the PC conference. Usually, I have my tendencies focused more on the consoles, PlayStation 4, Xbox One,
And
third
third
that. Yeah, and other third parties.
Bethesda, those kind of guys.
So, I mean, I don't really know if Valve gets kind of slumped in with that PC press conference. If so, I feel like that could be a conference for history if Half-Life 3 does get announced.
Mm-hmm. Now, the PC conference is actually pretty new. It's something they really haven't been doing. I don't think last year was the first year they did it. I think they've been doing it for at least 2 or 3 years now. But last year's PC conference was nothing really to scoff at. It was a really small conference compared to the Xbox, PlayStation, and all the other ones. I personally hope that the production values on these, or on the PC conference, goes up, because PC definitely needs more of a voice in conventions and conferences. It's kind of, because a lot of people call PC the dominating platform, or if you like consoles, you call consoles the dominating platform. But if PC was such a dominating platform, then why don't they get a big conference just like a Xbox, PlayStation, or any other large company? Because it is a large community and they all matter too.
Well, see, the thing about that, Colin, that the reason why they don't have such a big deal as like an Xbox One and PS4 is because when you think of PC, you know, there's not just one PC. The PC isn't just a thing. Like the Xbox is made by Microsoft, the PlayStation 4 is made by Sony. PC is not made by any specific company. You know, you have this kid using that type of computer, that computer, that computer, that computer. So it's really hard to find that one unified voice for PC, other than Steam, which kind of unites all PC gamers in a way. That's why me personally, that's why I feel that despite PC is seen as a dominant voice in gaming, it's so hard to bring it to conventions because there's so many different companies and brands, because you got all these different parts in your computer that are all made by individual companies, plus the computer itself, which is made by a different company. So it's all those little parts that I think that contribute to the reasoning why PC isn't at most conferences.
Right. And on that point, actually, I just thought of something. When you think of PC and you think of PC gaming, you don't necessarily think of a lot of PC exclusive games, if that's the right word I'm looking for, but
yeah,
more so, it seems like a lot more third-party companies do PC titles, and there's not just one company besides maybe Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard
Even
is.
them,
But even Blizzard is starting to branch out
right.
to consoles.
Right, because with like Diablo, and Overwatch, they have been going to maybe console, which, I mean, they're great games for the console, but
yeah,
before they were mainly used PC platforms. So, I mean, hey, if you're a large-scale company like that and you want to make more money, console's the best place to go. So, the EA conference. This is
EA is going to be an interesting one this year.
Yeah, it's gonna. I feel like they're just gonna sit there and go, "Oh, Assassin's Creed movie, Assassin's Creed movie."
So I'm going to stop calling right there because that's actually Ubisoft.
Oh,
But,
I'm.
all right,
stupid.
Colin. So you can crawl back under the. All right, you just started this podcast from. So anyway, back to the show. Right away, I'll correct Colin. Battlefield 1.
Yes.
So,
okay. Yes. Yes. Now. Yes.
I'll let Colin take over now that I've got him back. On the
Battlefield 1. Now I can start to fanboy out again. Yay! So yeah, Battlefield 1 looks great on their one trailer that they've shown us. I mean, you can say it looks great all you want, but there hasn't been gameplay really shown. You can argue maybe
trying
that...
to dislike this video by dumbing down Battlefield 1 right now.
Well, no, I'm not saying I don't like the game. I'm actually super fucking hyped for it. But when you think about it, we haven't seen gameplay of it, and the only people
gameplay can be trash. That trailer alone deserves Game of the Year.
But since we haven't seen gameplay, the only people that we can give credibility to are the people who have apparently played it, or the devs, and of course the devs won't sly talk their own game into saying that, oh yeah, it's not even that great, or the people that you have up on stage are, and for paying, they're not gonna talk bad about your game.
I mean, let's be honest, have you heard some of them Homefront Revolution devs?
We'll get into that a little bit after. We'll wait on that one. But I guess you could argue that maybe we have seen some gameplay in the fact that in part of the trailer when the guy is shooting the classic style MG into the cloud of gas and puts on his gas mask. I mean, that could be one thing, but when a trailer has at the very bottom a caption that says in-engine footage, don't always trust what. Don't just get overly hyped about the game. Wait until we see some action. Wait until you see some actual gameplay. That's being a smart consumer. That's being someone who can conserve themselves and make smart choices rather than just go out and buy the next Call of Duty game because it has Call of Duty branded all over it.
To answer your concerns, the Battlefield 1's first live stream will take place at E3 2016 in June, where they have already confirmed the 64-player battles that will occur on Twitch.
Yes.
So there will be your gameplay right there, my good friend.
Definitely. I am hyped for it. Probably going to be playing it on, like, PC. Like, well,
now, I'm interested to see what game mode they're going to be showcasing when they do live stream the game.
Probably their most sought after, either Rush or Conquest, if I had to say.
Now, is there one that you personally would rather have over the other?
I would rather see Conquest because I'm a big Conquest player, and Conquest, I think, gives you the whole experience.
Yeah, whereas Rush is
Conquest, you can use everything. You're not the only limitations are on what they put on the map. So it allows you to use vehicles. You're not constrained on a larger scale map. They don't shrink down the map size to keep you close, kind of like a team deathmatch sort of game. You honestly feel like you're almost in an open world, but not quite. And you feel like you have a lot more freedom than you would in Rush. Is there one that you would prefer to see? Because I knew.
Yeah, no. I completely agree with you on the ideology of preferring Conquest. Like for a lot of the reasons that you said, it especially because Battlefield 1 is such a unique game in itself, and everyone is so hyped about it. It will allow a lot of players to put what they personally have thought of about the game to the test. Like, how's the planes going to be? How are the tanks going to be? How are the single-man vehicles going to be? Horse combat, these are all important things that we have to look at when we are looking at the whole of Battlefield 1, because they are treading in territory that Call of Duty, frankly, is at the moment too scared to, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about the live stream and what exactly they're going to show us. So yeah, like Colin said, I'm also pretty hyped about it.
Right. What else can we be expecting from EA? I can't really think of. I mean, maybe a Far Cry game.
They're gonna steal their press conference.
No, that's Ubisoft game. I cannot think today. I am so sorry.
Yeah, Colin is just getting.
I'm just hyped for Ubisoft games this week. Yeah. EA though. I don't know. I mean, I'm hyped for Battlefield, but not overly.
Honestly, we're probably going to get some comments saying that, well, you missed this from EA and that from EA.
Well, but, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2. I don't know how Colin personally feels about that game. Honestly, I don't own the game yet, but I would love to pick it up. Maybe they're going to show some. There's been talk of new DLC coming out for that. Maybe they're going to showcase some of that.
I personally have never played a Plants vs. Zombies game before, so.
Great, they're just amazing, Colin. You gotta get on that. Come on. What are you doing with your life?
Playing WoW and some other games, like RTS games and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, so enough about EA, because you seem to be really unknown about EA. So moving on to Ubisoft. So
Ubisoft, right? Yeah. My boys.
I'll start us off with this one. So Ubisoft this year has a lot to live up to. With already leaked, not so much footage, but leaked things about Watch Dogs 2, which Watch Dogs 2 wasn't really the biggest seller.
Watch Dogs was not the biggest seller, but
yeah. Watch Dogs wasn't the biggest game I think looked at compared to its its comparator, which is GTA 5, in the realm of open world and stuff like that, and going about how things like that. Get out, get out! I'm filming right now. Get out! You're cutting this out. Compared to GTA 5, is that about that? My sister came in. And I feel like it was more or less shadow of GTA 5, despite them being very different games. So I'm interested to see how Watch Dogs 2 will perform despite not having that big competitor that GTA 5 was to it.
Mm-hmm.
Another big game that I think that Ubisoft is going to be in rouse about is the new and upcoming Assassin's Creed game and the movie. So with the movie, it's already almost indefinite that we will see another Assassin's Creed game. So with the last one being Syndicate, unless you count the mini games like Liberation and China, all those other ones, I think the next big Assassin's Creed game that we'll see will be announced here at E3 2016. So, The Division, we're definitely going to see some big announcements about that, with that being a flagship game and already a confirmed film with that in the making as well. So not only do they have an Assassin's Creed movie, but a Division movie as well, starring your boy Jake Gyllenhaal. He's already been casted into the role as the survivor, the main character of the game. And so I mean, honestly, that's what I think that's going to come out of the press conference that I know of. I'm sure there's going to be so many others, but I'll let Colin take over.
Now, do we know if the South Park games, did those come from the Ubisoft?
I'm pretty sure they did, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see something about the South Park The Fractured But Whole game. Don't say that too fast, because then you'll get the joke. I personally did not play the first one, but I heard it was a great game, and clearly just got the joke. But I feel like...
I personally played it.
But from what I've seen of it, it looked astonishingly close to the show.
Yeah.
And in a way, you kind of had to expect that from them, because it's a cartoon, drawn-out style game, almost like they're pieces of paper in a way, yet animated. And that fits perfectly for a game's art style, and it's not too high graphically demanding, and there's so much story behind South Park, because it's been going on as a show for so long that it was just like a match made in heaven almost for them, I personally think. The only thing I'm concerned about is, can they top their previous game? Clearly their title is very ambitious, but from what people have said about the Stick of Truth, they have a lot to prove about their next game that will make it look a lot better than the Stick of Truth.
I think, me personally, someone who's played through the entire game, beat all the side missions like that, I feel that one of my biggest concerns with the game is its replay value and its willingness to continue playing the game after beating it. Because something that I found after completing the Stick of Truth was, not really having a lot to do after you've done everything. It's not like there are collectibles, the little some Pokemon that you can go around and find, but honestly, those are found fairly quickly, and once you collect them all, and do all the side missions, it's basically it, and there's not a lot of content after that. So I'm curious to see how they're going to go about making the next one and give it that replay value that I feel like a lot of players would like coming from a game like South Park. So that's something that I'd be interested to see them talk about.
Yes. Did Ubisoft made Dead Island, right?
No.
No, they didn't.
So did Colin.
there's some genres that I know of, and there's some that I just.
I woke up 3 hours ago, guys. Colin's been up all so the fact that I think Colin needs to go back to bed.
Yeah. Alright, so let's just move on then to Bethesda. The boy we all know and we all love.
Let's see.
Most of us.
Bethesda's another interesting one this year that, you know, it's either they're going to be throwing us some low balls or some big hitters. And, you know, right away we're going to see the new the Elder Scrolls based card game, which is called Elder Scrolls Legends, which was, you know, I personally got the pleasure of playing at PAX East 2016. And personally, it felt like a more in-depth Hearthstone. I feel like they're trying to go in that general direction with the success that Hearthstone has brought Blizzard. Whether or not it will be as successful, I personally do not believe so, because Hearthstone has essentially monopolized that market, and it'll be harder for a lot of other games to follow in that footsteps, because Hearthstone at the time of its release was such a unique game in competing with games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, you know, where all those three games were much more similar in their own genre. When Hearthstone released, it was much more different and gave a liveliness to that dying breed of card game. So, with that being said, I'm curious to see how the game will be shown off and whether or not it will compare to Blizzard's Hearthstone. But other than that, I don't really know what we're going to see from Bethesda. I doubt we're going to see an Elder Scrolls 6, but
I really hope we do, because that's my boy that I've been waiting for a while.
Oh, Fallout 4 content.
I mean, didn't they just release their
They just released Far Harbor, so I don't know if we're going to necessarily see more content from that. Maybe talk about what's to come, because Far Harbor is the last DLC on the Season Pass. But they've already confirmed more DLC to be releasing throughout the year. So I'm curious to see if they might launch the Season Pass for the next set of DLCs. But I don't know. So
it's very it's very weird how they continue to push out DLC even though it's not on their first initial Season Pass. That's something you don't see a lot of companies doing. So I'd say like GTA, but they release their they release their DLCs. They're mostly free.
yeah, they're all free.
They're all free. So I mean, that's not something that you really have to worry about. But I don't know what else we're really to expect from them. Besides, yeah, the Skyrim card game, Elder Scrolls 6. Do you think there's anything else that they could pull out, really?
I already know Colin's personal opinion. He's probably going to want to voice it to you guys, but I could see them showing off some new content for Elder Scrolls Online. You know, especially the console version, showing off some new content for that, and just showing that the game is still alive. That's my personal opinion about it. I'm sure Colin's about to rant about how bad the game is.
I'm gonna hold off on the ranting. If requested, I can start to rant in a different video about my experiences and what I kind of invested in. We'll
save all the ranting about how bad certain games are for a different podcast.
Yeah.
We want to keep this one PG, Colin.
Keep this one PG, alright. Alright. So, you want to take like a small break before we continue back up? You guys want to keep on going?
It's up to you.
Do you have anything you need to go? Like your sister came in, you want to go address her?
I don't know. She's already gone.
Because I still want my dad watching me, so you just go. So,
yeah, let's keep going.
Alright, so if I have to, I'll just cut it out. Alright, so moving on.
Rockstar?
I don't think they have a conference though. I don't believe they have.
I mean, they got Red Dead Redemption 2.
They do. Oh yeah. Okay.
That's speculation, but I mean,
Yes. Well, let's move on to just talk really quickly about some companies that might be appearing at E3 and what maybe they could possibly be showing or anything like that. So, the first one that I can think of at the top of my head is 2K Games.
AKA Borderlands.
Yes, very much so.
Just kidding, that's Gearbox.
Yeah.
We're gonna see 3. Just guys, it's confirmed. We're gonna see Borderlands 3. They've already confirmed. It is in the making. Like Gearbox has already talked about it at other press conferences. You don't even need to worry that it actually is being made. And by Borderlands 3, I don't mean Borderlands 1.5, the pre-sequel. That's not what I mean. I mean Borderlands 3 with some cool new characters, interesting gameplay, and the continuation of the story. So, look forward to seeing that. I hope if they're not going to show us a trailer, they better damn well talk about it, because Borderlands has definitely not been doing too pretty lately because of the pre-sequel, and I would love to see that franchise come back.
Now, I was just like skimming over our notes really quick, and one of the things that I think we missed was the fact that Nintendo over the years has slowly been opting out of doing traditional conferences. Something that most big companies not do. They just go straight for the conference, get there one time to shine on like Twitch or YouTube or anything like that, and then that's it. And then they just show off their products to people on the show floor. Now, what are your thoughts on the fact that Nintendo kind of strayed away from that, and why do you think that they would choose to do something like that rather than just go for the one and done big conference?
The reason why I personally believe that Nintendo is doing this, because you don't need to be a genius to know that Nintendo definitely isn't doing well. With the handheld universe dying to cell phones, the Nintendo DS isn't really making as much money as it once was. And consoles like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are becoming too hard to match for the Wii, which I don't know how Colin personally feels, but I think the Wii U was a very well-developed console, just released at a very poor time. And the reason why, back to the main question, was why do I believe they're opting out? To make themselves more independent. Nintendo itself is a very, very wealthy company, maybe on the downfall for other reasons, but they are still very wealthy, and we're seeing that with the creation of the Mario-themed theme park being constructed in Japan, set to open in 2020. And it's that, using that as an example, I feel like Nintendo is trying to brand themselves much more independently, and that they can stand alone rather than, get involved with all these, E3s and PAX and things like that. When in reality, they can have a Nintendo Fest and have all their people come to that, and they're going to get the exact same coverage either way, maybe so even more, and be able to cater to their fan base much more exclusively rather than going to E3 and forcing Xbox and Sony viewers to watch a Nintendo press conference. So I don't know.
Right.
And plus, an NX coming out, which I'll let Colin talk about.
Yes, the Nintendo NX. So, I couldn't really find too much information on the Nintendo NX. I do feel like that it is going to be portable, right? It's going to be in the line of their portable
Is it?
team systems.
I know they were talking about making another handheld. I just didn't know the NX was it.
I think it is then. It might be the new handheld, I'm not exactly sure. Regardless of that, if it is not a new handheld, it could definitely... They've been coming out with so many new console designs throughout the years that I think it's hard for their fans to stick with one. A lot of people really enjoyed the Wii U, their sticks, and everything they can do with it. The Wii, sorry. And then people really enjoyed the Wii U for the touchpad and the fact that it was a second screen that they didn't necessarily have to be on their TV to use, but it was also a nice functional tool. I find that whatever they do with the NX needs to, first of all, have a boost in power, because the systems that they've been coming out with are not the best graphically.
No, no.
What we've seen from Nintendo are really what they've done for a long time is a lot of kids games, a lot of happy, fun, cheery games, and they've all required minimal graphic effort.
I want to see Zelda with Final Fantasy graphics. The GoFundMe will be in the description. We're gonna make it happen.
And we'll be getting a petition going.
Mario with Final Fantasy graphics. That's also gonna happen.
Just every Nintendo game with Final Fantasy graphics in it. Just because why not?
I want Mario to look so real that it actually looks kind of creepy when I'm stomping on Koopas and stuff. I want a blood and gore option, so when I step on a turtle, his guts fly all over the screen. A side scroller with that would extremely bloody. When he's shooting fireballs, I want it to look like Doom, and I just want everyone to die. I'm just kidding. That's messed up.
Yes. But back to the NX. I do feel like the NX could definitely have some potential as long as they update it graphically, and they don't. As long as they stick to their guns, they can take risks, and I want them to take risks with this new system, but I do not want them either A, taking too many risks, or B, taking too few risks that it's just another one of their same consoles that we've already seen. Because Nintendo really needs some innovation. They're not only their game designs, but their console designs, which is something that's really important to thrive a growing industry and attract new customers besides just your original fans. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Aiden, on that.
Yeah, just kind of like what you said, Nintendo really needs to capture a bigger audience.
Mm-hmm.
And, right when they're not doing that. So that's just something that I believe that they need to do.
All right. We're running a little low on time here, so I think we're going to skip past the companies appearing at E3, because really, we all know what companies are going to be appearing.
Konami, Logitech, Oculus, Razer, Sega, Square Enix, Take-Two, some of them we already talked about.
Yeah. All big names. So, maybe some bigger announcements at E3. So we've already talked about the Nintendo NX.
There's two more things that we want to, end off with that we weren't able to get to before, though.
Right.
For example, really quick, there were a few new announcements that were made while the making of this podcast was going on. For example, Dead Rising 4 leaked. And we'll be seeing that, an Xbox One exclusive, and also another thing that was leaked, the all-new Xbox One hardware rumors for the console that we'll be seeing. So, a few other things we didn't get to. For Honor, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is an Xbox One exclusive.
No, it is
Okay.
It's basically a game just like Chivalry in a way, but it's gonna.
Titanfall 2.
Yep.
Now, this game personally, I felt would have been leaps and bounds better with a story mode. Only from and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me that with a story, this game probably would have been up there with could have potentially been Game of the Year. But honestly, without the story, it made a lot of the game make no sense. Especially because when you go through the training simulator when you first get the game, you know, that feels like more of a story than anything else. And to me personally, I felt like it would have been interesting to see a lot of, you know, how a lot of the game came to be within a story sense.
Right.
So.
I personally haven't played that game before, so I really can't offer too much on it. I believe, from what I've heard of the game, most of what Aiden said is true, and from what I've seen, if there's another one like that, sure. Some other things to mention: Mass Effect Andromeda, Mafia 3, Star Citizen. What else we got here? Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. That's something.
Good.
Yes.
Open world, right?
That I'm not sure of. I haven't heard anything about the open world, but I hope they kind of go back to their older titles in a way, because the way they did combat was something that really.
Combat was definitely different.
Yes, combat was definitely different in their previous games. So, that I'm excited for. Horizon Zero Dawn. Great game.
That's gonna be, honestly, like, I want to get a PS4 just for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty big title, I'd say, but there's a lot of curiosity around it.
I'm curious to see if it's gonna have a multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hopefully. I mean, it seems like a pretty good game that would have multiplayer, not just like tacked on to it. It seems like the game might actually benefit from a multiplayer, because multiplayers do increase the longevity of a game more so than.
Regardless of how good the multiplayer even is, you know.
Yes, there'll still be fans who will want to play the multiplayer regardless. Take Uncharted 4, for example. A lot of people like the Uncharted multiplayer, even though personally it looks almost kind of tacked on. But at the same time, you can see the detail, and it reminds you of the game, of the single player, just in the multiplayer format. Xbox One Windows 10 apps. So what this is referring to is games basically that they're porting to Windows 10.
In other words, Halo.
Hmm?
In other words, Halo.
Yes, Halo, maybe Gears of War, or something along those lines. We could maybe see something from the Xbox conference. I would be really happy about that, because if we're going to be using Windows 10, it makes sense to, you know, have some games that that help represent Microsoft not only on the Xbox but also on PC. But that will not happen if you limit your customers to certain settings in your game that you can't even run. Like recently, they fixed the fact that you could only, the biggest screen you could have was borderless window mode. You couldn't have a dedicated full screen mode in the games that you bought off of the Xbox Store or the Microsoft Store on Windows 10, which is something that would be completely limited to any game that you put up on that store, because no one wants to be told, okay, these are the things you have to abide by just because you bought the game off of this store. Or you can get our console and you can play the game normal, the way it's supposed to look, and be all happy, cheery with that. Like, no, I just want to, if you want to watch this thing, boom, on the
do
PC,
it right.
Do it right the first time. Don't fuck with your customers.
A game that I would like, going to that whole being able to do more on the PC with Xbox One exclusives, Forge on Halo. Now, Forge has always been such an important feature within Halo, being the first of its kind besides Minecraft, to be able to create your own maps and go around and do custom games in that sorts. So, to port that over to PC and allow for a much more wide array of things to be created by the players, I would love to see, how they would go about making it so you'd be able to do more.
Right. Definitely you could be a lot more accurate. Or people would definitely take a lot more time on Forge making things. Because that's what Forge is. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a map editor in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, people could do some amazing things given the accuracy of mouse and keyboard over a controller, and it's something that any PC player who has ever touched Halo would be excited to probably play, because it offers more. It offers more to the consumer, and it offers more to maybe Xbox players who want to play on their PC for a change, and be able to experience that is just better for everyone, in my own opinion. Thing would be just a quick little note. On June 8th, Deus Ex Mankind gameplay will be displayed on their Twitch channel. I don't know if you've heard of Deus Ex, but
Deus Ex, but
I call it Deus Ex, but
I
I think a lot of people call it Deus Ex, but okay.
That's all you, but I've always called it Deus Ex. But I did the first one. I rented it off Redbox. Didn't get through a lot of it, but it was definitely an interesting game. Everyone's gonna be amazing, so definitely go out and check that out, guys. One last thing to leave you guys off with is the rumors of a new Lara Croft game. Colin, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's a possible new Lara Croft game could definitely be a good thing for both sides, because Lara Croft as a character is very iconic to a lot of people.
Yeah, and Opus has been for a very long time, especially with the movies.
Yeah, and it matters that when people see Lara Croft games and you think, okay, Tomb Raider, this is going to be a good game. They have their bar set to a certain height, and definitely something to keep your eye out on. And if they do it right, possibly Game of the Year material with the resources that they have. There's unlimited possibilities to what the new Tomb Raider could do.
Yeah, and especially how it would impact the others, and how they would take the story.
Yeah, expand on that to who knows. But did we miss anything?
No, I think we covered just about everything.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Once again, if you missed anything or want to just get a quick summary of everything we just talked about, it will be all in the description of the YouTube video.
We'll have timestamps for,
yes,
the different things.
Timestamps, links. We will link you to any articles that we used or found helpful info on. Keep checking.
Follow us. Our links and Twitch descriptions will be in the bottom.
They will be.
If you wanna, follow us.
Him more so than me, but hey. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Aiden, is there anything else you'd like to say before
we hope to see you guys enjoying yourselves on June 12th through the 16th over at E3 2016.
Now, Aiden, are you going to be doing any special E3 stream or anything like that? Or
no, I will not be, because I would get banned because I'm not Lyric and I don't have a partnered thing with E3 where I can host the entire thing and watch it and talk to my viewers about it. I guess that's what Lyric does every year.
But yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure.
First ever
pilot episode of the Quest podcast.
These are going to be coming out weekly, talking about all different things, video games and other such nonsense.
Video game related, esports, anything you can think of in the realm of video gaming.
And so, Dove Shampoo. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed, subscribe, and until next time. Yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch and Roadhog porn. Yep. Bye!